multi-platinum selling, award-winning songwriter, producer, artist, musician. His name is David Pick Conley.
When I was coming up, people who was producing music was responsible for the whole song. We wrote a song for New Edition. At the time, New Edition was a platinum group. And it freaked us out. We had to learn about publishing.
Right.
Don't give your songs away if you don't have to.
That's huge. Huge.
Don't hear that? Because what we didn't know that we know today. I'm telling you guys right now. One of the things that keep me alive, because you don't hear a lot of circus music no more than in our old stuff, is our publishing.
Right.
Bill collectors at my door. What can you do for me? Hey!
Listen, I talk about this all the time, and this is one of Erica's favorite songs that you worked on also. Nothing Going On But the Rent. Classic song. A great song. Now, what was your involvement with that one?
Well, I feel like I co-wrote it.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I had put the track together, which
Nice.
I kind of robbed a little something from, what was it, Grandmaster Flash, I think.
White
Line. But I took it and I moved it around a little bit, you know what I mean, to make it a little different.
Okay.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you, people complain about Pharrell and the Marvin Gaye. You borrow from your periods.
Yeah.
You borrow from the greats.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I did. And so we did the song. I thought it was great. She wrote all the words and I did the music. So when the record was ready to come out, we was going through the percentages and everything. And she told me that she's not going to put me down as a writer. I'm like, why?
What?
She said, because I didn't write the words. I'm like, but I wrote the music.
Wow.
And she says, no, because people are going to think, because you're a guy, you know, you're producing this
They're going to
record,
think you
they ain't
wrote
gonna
all
think
of
I
it.
did nothing. And I'm like, come on, Gwen, we wrote it together. So we fought and fought and fought, and I just relented. I didn't, but see, I still, this is before it happened.
Okay.
So I still didn't know what a hit song was.
Okay. Okay.
So I kind of just relented because I was happy to even work with her. You know what I mean, I was happy to be in the studio doing something I love to do.
Man.
And then that freaking record went number one.
Huge.
And then the guys started getting mad at me, like, why you write that record? You know, going on with the rent, man. You're a traitor. I'm like, well, she wrote the words.
Wow.
Oh, life is too serious, love's too mysterious. A fly girl like me needs security, 'cause ain't nothing going on but the rent. You got to have a J.O.B. if you wanna be with me. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. You got to have a J.O.B. if you wanna be with me. No romance without finance. I said no romance without finance.
That was a great song.
Unfortunately, you know, all I was to produce on that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what I had, and that's what I lived with. And sometimes I kick myself a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know, here's the big point about that. Nowadays, if you're going to co-write with somebody, especially somebody that you're not really brothers and sisters with, you gotta get your percentages right there when you finish the song.
Right.
You don't walk out in a week, a month later, and
come
like,
back
okay,
with
here we
your
go.
set.
Hey, wait a minute, you didn't do this.
Wow.
What do you mean I didn't do this?
Wow.
The music just didn't appear.
Right.
So yeah, you gotta make your percentages right away.
And this is the thing about that song. I mean, the lyrics were incredible. I love the concept and everything.
Right.
But the music actually makes that song go at, I mean, with different music, it's not the same song.
True, indeed.
It's not the same.
Indeed.
It just, you hear the song, you hear the track, as soon as it comes on, boom, you're in it.
I love that track.
You're in it.
Man, I was so proud of that music, you know, because it kind
man.
of personified what I was doing at the time.
Okay.
And then and then I learned a lot from Gwen, because she was such a great singer that she taught me a lot about background voices.
Okay.
How many tracks to use. And how to put the harmonies together, because she was the queen of that.
Okay.
And so I learned a lot of my vocal style from her.
Nice.
And in the beginning, she wouldn't even let me come in the studio while she was doing the words.
Really?
She wouldn't even let. She just put the music together. I'll do the rest. And that was in the beginning. I started to be a little uncomfortable because I wanted to learn, and plus I wanted to be a part of that.
Right.
So of course she kind of loosened up because she actually got hurt. Okay. So I had to come in. She did something, broke her foot or something like that. So I had to come in and do a lot of the work during that particular album.
Okay.
And Dave Townsend and Bernard, we wrote about 4 or 5 songs on that first. On the second album we did on her, because the first song was a different song that me and Josh wrote. Okay. And the second album, the big album, was with Outside in the Rain.
Okay.
The single. And I'm going for rent. You know what I mean? Man. I Still Want You and other songs. Stop Holding Back was the song we did on Surface. We ended up doing on her. Okay. And it didn't really make any big noise, so she said, "Let me do that song." So, you know, it was interesting how that relationship started to develop. Okay. And after it developed, I ended up, you know, I could take a punch. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like some people would say, "I'll never work with that." Right, right. Whatever. Right. I didn't take that attitude because I still needed to learn. Right. Remember, I'm still coming in. Uh-huh. She was the first big artist that I even freaking knew personally. Man. So I took the hit, but look at all the music we got. And she was my background arranger and background singer for most of the productions that I did. Melba Moore, she sang background on that. So many records. She did not sing on Don't Take It Personal. Durkee did the background. Oh, okay. With Jermaine. Okay. She even sang on one of the Surface songs. All I Want Is You. Uh-huh. She sang background on that. But everything I was touching, Isaac Hayes, I would request her. You would call her in. And she would go, "You know, you gotta pay for them 6 girls." You know what I'm saying? Because she would sing 6 tracks. Right. And she would be like, I think I was paying her a couple $1,000 a song. Back then, wow, she was getting paid. Oh, she was definitely getting paid. But she was worth it. Okay. Because, you know, back then the budgets was different from now. You know, the big boys get the $100,000 or something. Right. It was a little bit different back then, but the money was great. I didn't complain, and with me, it wasn't like I had to take all the money. Right. You know what I mean? If she's gonna make that record happen, put her on. Right. It's gonna pay off in the end. Say about her. What I'm talking about is having a song with the artist with the record company with the big machine. Uh-huh. So when you have something like that, your song gets more leverage. Right, exactly. So if you pick the right artist with your songs, and not only picking, if you just get lucky or blessed, or whatever word you want to use, that big artist can, like a New Edition at the time. Right. New Edition was bigger than life. Huge. So in the beginning, when we did that song on them, we knew that's a moneymaker right there, because they on New Edition. Right. They was double platinum. And they went double platinum on that album. So we did make some money, but not as much as we did on the publishing. Okay. And the publishing would have been worth, for you guys back then that don't know about it, if you go platinum on a single, right, you're looking at minimum about $30,000 on platinum. Uh-huh. So if you don't have the publishing, you're just looking at half of that. Right. So you're looking at, if it goes double platinum, then triple platinum, like what R. Kelly did Happy over again. He called it Only the Look Made Me Happy. He made us happy. He sold 5 million. So we like, what? You know, it's funny about that song because, you know, we was getting a little pumped up at the time. And, you know, we was a little, I guess a little bit over the top with a little bit. And when R. Kelly wanted the song, I pulled the guys together like, Bernard, Dave, let me tell you something right now. Don't get in the way with this negotiation. Whatever he wants, give it to him. Give it to him. Because you know he's going to sell. It's R. Kelly. So we're going to make some money. You know what R. Kelly did? He came and called up. He says, "What if I give you guys 75% and I take 25? Would that work with y'all?" I'm looking at him like, 75%? Hell yeah! So, you know, to me, he was more than gracious. Yeah, he was gracious. He could have took 50, 60%. Absolutely. Yeah. So it's different when Monica did Don't Take It Personal, where everybody kept saying, you know what, Monica took your song. I'm like, no, she didn't. She just took the title. That's right. You can't sue nobody for no title. Right. And they said, no, man, I heard your music and she's singing over top, but Don't Take It Personal that Jermaine did. Yeah, but it's just a remix. That's not a big deal. So finally they kept saying, man, I'm telling you, they're playing it on the radio. You got to do something. We was in Virginia at that time. Okay. And so I said, well, I'm going to buy the record. So I bought the record. And me and my ex-wife at the time, we were sitting back listening to the album. We was like, wow, this is a nice album. The last song on there. Don't Take It Personal. God, wow. Like, what? That's my song. And she said, don't take it personal. And then she sang her words on the verse.
Right.
I was like, oh my God. So I called up my lawyer and I said, guess what, man? Monica's got a double platinum album. And
with
we're
my song on it.
And he says, okay. So he made the call to the publishing company, which was EMI, which was the same publishing company that I was on at the time. As soon as he opened up his mouth, he said, well, okay, we'll give you 50% of the song. Because Dallas didn't put my name on it or nothing. He just...
Really?
So I said, okay, all right, I ain't buying it.
Man.
I told my lawyer, I said, man, see if you can get more. And he ended up with 60% of the song. So we ended up with 60% of that song. Only because they did the song without permission.
Right.
It gave me more leverage.
Okay.
See, leverage is, she had leverage in the beginning because she was the platinum artist.
Right.
So she could have done anything she wanted.
So she could have came to you beforehand and got a better deal for herself.
Yeah, totally. And that better deal is worked on leverage and what power you think you have to give the percentages out.
Okay.
You just want to grab your nuts and just go on and say, look, you can't have none of this. Just
do it. You can do it. Right.
Which happened with Don't Disturb This Groove. And the tables was turned. When I did that on Victoria Beckham, we wrote a different song on top of the system song.
Okay.
So we used the title.
Okay.
And we used the track. Man, they came back and said, this is a special song to us. We ain't giving it up. I'm saying, you gotta give us something. We did the track different a little bit, and he says, well, wrote totally different words on it.
Okay.
He ended up with 85% of the song and gave us 15. But you know what? I cried a little bit, but it didn't matter.
Okay.
Because it's their song, and I could understand that. And I said, I wish we had a little bit more leverage when we was giving out our songs.
Right.
Maybe we could have got even a better deal.
Right.
Is it greed or is it just the way it's supposed to be? Well, there's a thin line in between that, you know what I mean? And you make your own worth out here. People don't tell you what you're worth. Unless you just fall down like I did when Ain't Nothing Going On with the Rent.
Right.
I didn't feel like I had the worth.
Man.
I didn't know. I knew I did some good stuff with her, but I didn't know that it was like going to be number one. And I was going to get a platinum single.
And like you said, I'm happy to be working with her. She's Gwen Guthrie.
Yeah. God bless her, God bless her soul.
Man.
So we had a little, in the beginning, it started to become a little estranged at first, but I had to let it go, and I dealt with her on a different level.
Okay.
Because I knew that there was something that we had to do together, and we did a lot of good music together.
Okay.
Now, had I been a little stubborn and pissed off and negative about it, then we wouldn't have got a lot of stuff done.
Right.
The next album that she did, she wouldn't have called me to write another song.
Right, yeah.
So there's a balance that you have to choose on yourself with songwriting. And that balance is, what you want to participate in somebody's music, you know what I mean? And then you have to always respect the fact that, someone like Aretha Franklin has weight. Someone like Gwen Guthrie, after she went number one, she has weight. Jermaine Jackson, being the Jackson 5, he has weight.
Super weight.
So these are the things that you have to
and you have to consider all of these things as a songwriter. I wanted to briefly talk about Resurface. Resurface. So, the lead singer of Resurface was John Fever. I've heard the music. The music sounds incredible. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less from you. The music sounds incredible, and I do see how you have sort of incorporated the old school feeling that Surface gave everybody. But like you said, you didn't pigeonhole him.
Right.
You didn't come in and say, Fever, I need you to sound exactly like Bernard.
Totally. Right.
You didn't do that.
Didn't do it.
Which was extremely important, I believe, to the success of what you guys are doing together.
Well, he sounds like him already, but if you really pick it apart, he really doesn't sound like him.
Okay.
For real. Bernard's voice is still, the timbre is a high-pitched voice.
Okay.
Even when we did Happy, a lot of my friends was like, man, is that a girl singing? I'm like,
right.
No daggone girl.
Right.
But, and Fever's got that high-pitched voice, too.
Right.
But, I mean, I'm a big fan of Bernard's voice, first of all. So,
yeah, me too. Absolutely.
When I even go back and listen to our old stuff and I listen to our new stuff, there's a clear difference between Bernard and John Fever. So, I didn't want him to become somebody else.
Okay.
That's not right for somebody to just
right.
You got to be him.
Right.
Do I want him to feel good and sound good when we're doing Shower Me What You Love and Happy when we go out to touring and stuff? Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
But we also want to introduce that there's something new happening and it has really nothing really to do with Surface other than the fact that I came from there.
Right.
So I can't take away my past.
Right.
And even Bernard and I, we had a little conversation about that. He's like, man, you got people thinking that, I'm dead, man. I'm like, I got people thinking you dead.
You got people thinking you dead.
But it's weird because people will mention about the new song. And they'll say, man, I'm glad you guys are back. But we're not back. Dave, unfortunately, passed away in 2005. Right. He was a big spirit to this group.
Right, absolutely.
And then, Bernard and I, we haven't been working in years. So it's like, it's a new group. Okay. Can I separate myself from Circus? Heck no. Right. So you're going to get something.
Right, right. You're
and
going to get
glad that people feel that it's coming from an area where I've been. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, that's great.
Because it was great music back then, and I didn't do it by myself. I did it with those two guys.
Shower me with your love. Shower me with the love I've been waiting for.
So I've always been a sponge for knowledge. And the knowledge that I wanted to sponge upon was with my business. Songwriting was a developing business for me since I started. Wow. And as it kind of rolled on, I mean, it's like going to college. Wouldn't you think that you would get a diploma at some point? Right. So that's the way I looked at it. I'm kind of learning and learning and learning. And even now, when I look back to the old songs, I say to myself, well, I am growing as a writer. Yeah. But if you're going to just talk about this new album that we wrote. For example, the very first song that I think I wrote on this new album was called Say I Do. Okay. And it was all calculated. Calculated being, we're getting ready to do an album by Resurface, which is another version of what I was doing before. So I said, well, what do people like about Surface? Well, they like love songs. They like this. I said, I got to find a word. Or the words kind of just fits that whole thing. So Gene Lake brought me this track that sounds almost like Happy. Okay. So that's the first foot in. Right. So I'm listening to this track, and I had that track for years. Okay. But when I decided to do this album, I brought that track back. Okay. And I just kept listening to that music, and trying to find something to make it sound like, this is something that we would do. And Say I Do came in, and when I heard Say I Do in my head, I just started hearing all of this beautiful stuff, as far as, whatever you want, I'll give you, but all I really got is my heart.
Everything my heart could bring. Is that enough to hear you say, I do anything you ask for, I place it right at your door, just to hear you say the words I do. Let me hear you say, I do.
You know what I mean? Is that enough for you to say I do? I know you want all these riches, this, that, and the other, but can you just feel me as a person? So that came out. You good? Yeah, just set it up. And when that happened, it opened up the door. So that was one thing where I had the music first. Gene Lennon came in with the title track of Where Have You Been? And he came in calculated. He said, we need to write a song about what happened to you guys. You guys was here, and then y'all hit and boom, boom, and now you got it. Right. Just that one idea.
Where have you been? Boom.
Where have you been? And so I took that song, and I took the track. The track was so beautiful. And I said, you know what? I said, we used to be closer than friends. We used to try it again. We used to, you used to shower me with your love. I was taking all our songs and just jumping them in there. Wow. And so, and then the big clinch was, where have you been? That big word. Yeah. So I noticed that nowadays, the pop writers and the R&B writers, they'll start down here, and when that chorus comes in, they're way up here. Right. So I had to shift my writing to fit today. And with Where Have You Been, I was definitely looking at, the old story about, and we changed it, because Feeble, when he came in and brought his ideas to the table, he made it a love song. Okay. But it's actually a song about me, Dave, and Bernard.
Where have you been? How could you let me miss you? You told me that we were closer than friends. Now that you're back, can we try it again? Where have you been? And will you stay and bring back this feeling?
Okay. Because we did so many great things, and then you guys left.
Gone.
But now that you're back, Can we get that feeling back again?
Right.
Can we So he changed it over like the girl. Can we get it back again? So sometimes songs could mean something to one individual because when you co-write, it's going to be a little different from two different people.
Yeah.
So, but then again, we write love songs, and that's what it was.
Right.
I'm sitting there talking to my girlfriend one day, and I was like, what is it about drug addicts? Because what is it about you gotta have this drug? Because I don't know about that.
Right.
What makes people lose their souls and lose their family, lose their cars, lose their house, lose everything for this drug? So it came out to Dream Chaser, and that was another music that Gene Lennon had brought me. He brought me this music, and I'm like, oh.
Man.
It was so beautiful. It wrote itself. I had the idea by talking to my girl, and so I said, how do you make that feel like a love song?
I'm like a dreamer, it keeps coming back to me. I keep going back to her, we keep going round and round. Just like a dreamer, she keeps coming back to me. I keep going back to her, we keep going round and round.
Well, I'm chasing this girl in my dreams, wishing my dreams come true, but every time I get to her, I can't touch her, I can't grab her, right? But that's the way the drug is. They say every time you take that hit, and you when you leave it alone, next thing you know, you're looking for the next dream, the next chase. You chase it. So, this is where a lot of ideas come from. They don't always come from you. You can just vicariously live through other people.
Right.
And then get these ideas down and then put them in song form.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's that. Songs come from what's going on today or yesterday, but you live it.
Absolutely.
You're watching the news. You're living by talking to you.
Yeah.
Everything brings out a song. Now let me tell you about familiarity in songwriting. You don't want to be so different, especially for these record companies nowadays.
Right.
They want you to be just like everything else on that radio.
Right.
So either you can live or you can not live.
Yeah. Like you said, you want to live. You don't want to just write a bunch of songs and have thousands of songs in your arsenal, but nobody digs them. They're not selling. You can't place them.
That was me and Dave in the beginning.
Right.
I'm telling you, we had hundreds of tracks.
Man.
So when Bernard came in and started hearing all that music, he was like, "Dude, this is my." Let's make it come live.
Absolutely.
And he did.
Wow.
So having somebody like that around, and even with some of the artists that you might work with, they kind of can bring in their own thing because nowadays artists want to be a part of that song too.
Oh, absolutely.
They know what that publishing money
Absolutely.
is. So even if they're not good writers, if you come in and you have the chorus, the hook is the most important thing.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you told me that a long time ago.
If you come in with a hook that's today, and everybody's feeling, they can sing along with it and stuff like that. The artists can come in and put their verses in.
Yep.
I'm comfortable.
Right.
I have to edit a few things, because some people are just not writers.
Right.
Right. And that's
but they
want
to be a part of. Right. But they want to be a part of the process.
They want to be a part of the process.
Right.
So I always allow them because you know what? Their image, their name is part of what's going to make that song
absolutely
real.
And you want them to be comfortable. When they go out to perform these songs, you want them to be able.
It's got to be theirs.
You want them to be believable.
It's got to be theirs. They got to turn it into theirs.
Absolutely.
Any song I did on Gwen, she made it hers.
Wow.
We did the new song about Resurface anyway. We did a song. The first song on the CD is called "Baby Making Music," which was another calculated song.
Nice.
Surface, if Surface was alive today, it would be David Bernard. It would have been perfect.
Wow.
Because that's what we do. Because people been for years telling me, man, we make these kids off your music. So I said, we want to do that on the song.
Wow.
I called up Dirkie one day, man. I said, I got the perfect title, man. Check this out. Baby Making Music. Hit play till it stops, rewind to the top. This whole concept of,
I
this
love
thing.
it. I
you know
love
what I mean?
Man.
So it was a calculation.
Yeah.
But I said, it's got to work. Now, Joe is singing on this new song. Joe Thomas.
Really?
All the things your man won't do, Joe. He blessed me.
Oh my goodness.
So when I talk about a song and then the artist and then where they're at in today's business or whatever, and how much power they have.
Right.
I thought that this was like a blessing. This could be
huge.
Me back.
I mean, anything that Joe touches really is. I mean,
he's the greatest singer right now.
He really is amazing.
Come on now. So even if people say, well, I ain't heard nothing from him in a while, well, then you ain't listening.
Yeah.
Because he just did a Dell song over again.
And killed it. Killed it.
Dude.
Killed it.
I had to put on Facebook. I said, let me tell y'all something. If anybody's listening to me at all, you need to listen to Adele's version that Joe did. I think it's the best song of the year.
Yeah, man.
And the best performance of the year.
Yeah, man.
And people started listening to it, I guess. You know, I put it up there again. I said, y'all ain't listening. Y'all got to hear this performance and feel what I'm feeling.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Erica actually pulled it up. I think somebody had put it on Facebook and she pulled it up and we watched the video and I was blown away. I couldn't turn away from the video.
Couldn't turn away.
I mean,
well, I'll turn away because I can't see it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, yo,
the Resurface project is complete, right? That's done. You're done.
Were
there any other collaborations on that project? Any other guest artists on that project with you and
yeah,
people?
We have a new girl that I found through the studio.
Okay.
Her name is Diamond Martinez.
Okay.
And she sang on 2 of the songs with us.
Nice.
And she actually did the show with us last night.
Oh, really?
Because she was requested.
Nice.
You know, people say, that girl, she got a little flavor to y'all. Y'all need to bring her back.
That's nice, man. That's nice.
She's on it, and I don't want to, man, I got to really think about if there were, let me see. I got to really think about if there was any special artists on there.
Okay.
But for me, what happened to me with songwriting years ago, at some point, if you're writing 100 songs and you're only getting one covered, which means only one person is doing your song, that wasn't satisfying for me at all.
Right.
I just gave it up as far as going after artists.
Okay.
And I felt like people weren't looking at me the same.
Okay.
I could write a great song, what I consider a great song, but they weren't really looking at it the same because maybe the great artist wasn't saying it.
Okay.
Or maybe the presentation wasn't, whatever it was that would turn off the record companies.
Okay.
And they were the ones that I was sending music to, not the artists.
Okay, you were sending to record companies. Okay.
Yeah, and then when I see an artist, I say, y'all got something for you, whatever, and they would listen to it or whatever. But it became something that I just didn't like anymore.
Okay.
Trying to fight that cover.
Yeah.
People were like, man, we got to write this song for so-and-so. Man, I ain't writing this song.
Wow. You
just
go
through too many channels. But let's look at the channels. Let's just take a song and see where it goes. You and I, we write a song. That song, we take it from conception, write it first in your head on paper, then we record it, then we take that song and we find the artist, or we might have had the artist in
mind already. So
let's just take an artist like Rihanna. Let's just we're talking about her.
Okay.
We'll look up Rihanna, whether we go to her manager, or maybe you have a contact to her, or maybe I have a contact to her, whatever it is. We'll look up that artist and find a way to get to that person.
Right.
So we'll find a way to get to her, whether it be manager. So it got to go to the manager's ear first. The manager might not even think about it. Maybe he's having a bad mood or whatever.
Right.
So Rihanna might not have heard it at that point. So we'll find another way in. Maybe we can get a little closer to her. But what about her dad or her sister or her best friend or her lover? Let's go to Chris Brown. So you find a way in. If it's a record company, it might not be heard either. Because the record company will be like,
I don't think that works.
But they don't hear her voice on it yet.
Right.
Sometimes just having that voice on the song brings the song alive.
Right.
So it goes to a lot of channels. And then finally when they say, I like the song, we want to do it. Then you got to negotiate how much money it's going to cost to do it.
Right.
And then after that, well, we don't want to pay that much money. Oh, we don't want to do this. Oh, we don't. Everybody's pinching coins.
Yeah.
So it could make the difference of the song.
And you still haven't gotten the artist in the studio yet. Their voice is not on the song or nothing.
Yeah. So when you finally get the voice on there, you think it's done. Well, Chuck did 30 songs on this new album. 30. So what's that mean? About 20 of them songs ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
But it ain't that they ain't good.
Right.
It's that you can't put them all on.
You can't put them all on.
So there's that element of, okay, will we overcut? Michael Jackson always overcut when he was cutting.
Right.
So you still don't know if it's actually going to make the record.
Right.
You're glad that Rihanna sang that record. Oh, man, she sang the record. We got a record on that. You celebrate. No, you better not pop that bottle yet.
Nope, not yet.
And then finally, the record company says it's in the playlist. And so that's a long way.
Yeah. It's a long process.
To go. Now, if you're your own group, which is where I ended up with, going back to myself, I said, I'd rather write for myself. Man.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I could tell myself, no, I don't want that song.
Right, exactly.
I could tell myself, well, you got to do this. You know what? It ain't got to go nowhere.
Right.
It's right here. So that's why I kind of enjoy writing this album.
Yeah. Listen, I can sit here and talk to you all night long, man. I know you got a flight in the morning. I got to get back to the girls, the twins and everything.
Sure.
But I really appreciate you taking time out to share with me, with the audience. I think they're going to get a lot from this. I'm already going to have to chop it up and make a couple of different episodes out of it because there's so much information. Yeah. But I truly thank you, man. I love you. I thank you for, you know, the mentorship and just allowing me to be myself and all of the information that you shared. I mean, I got it personally from our time together, but I'm glad you shared it with the audience today. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, y'all.
Looking forward to great things in 2016. And I know we're going to do some more work together, so I'm looking forward to it, man.
Well, the main thing I want to leave with the people as songwriters is, okay, songwriters don't really know a lot about music business. Right? So you really got to, if you don't know about it, find somebody who does.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a lawyer, if it's somebody else that just has that thing going, because the publishing is going to be your biggest thing.
Absolutely.
For a songwriter. So keep that close to your heart. And when you have to give up a piece for whatever it is, for a big artist, or whatever the case may be, figure out how much it's worth.
How much it's worth to you.
You know, and then don't kick them in the face. Because they have work.
Right, absolutely. Everybody has work. Yeah. That's awesome, Pick. Man, I love you, bro. I love you so much, man.
No, man.
Thank you very, very, very much, man. Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome, Pick. That was great. That was exactly what I need. And you know, now you're the first person that I'm actually interviewing for this thing. Okay. Huge. I mean, it's huge. I've been telling everybody about it.
Let's ride it, ride it, ride it. Oh, nothing you heard of could ever come close to this. No, I'm not dreaming about sexual healing. It's a little bit deeper than hugging and kissing. Think a little higher. Now your spirit's on fire. I've been thinking to myself.